Think about everyone you know. Not everyone you've met, everyone you actually know. Family, friends, coworkers, the people whose lives you could sketch out if someone asked. Now here's the strange part. No matter who you are, no matter how social, that number has a ceiling. And it's about 150. Not your phone contacts. Not your followers. The number of real, stable relationships your brain can actually hold at once. Go past it, and people start quietly falling off the other end without you even noticing. This is Dunbar's number, and once you see where it comes from, you can't unsee it running your entire life. It starts with monkeys. In the 1990s, a British anthropologist named Robin Dunbar was trying to solve a puzzle about primates. Monkeys and apes spend a huge amount of time grooming each other, picking through fur. It looks like hygiene, but it isn't really about cleanliness. It's about bonding. Grooming is how they maintain relationships and hold the group together. And Dunbar noticed something. The bigger a primate species' social group, the more grooming it takes to keep it stable, and the bigger the brain it needs to keep track of everyone. Specifically, one part of the brain, the neocortex, the region behind complex thought. So he plotted it. Neocortex size against social group size across dozens of primate species. The correlation was tight. Bigger social brain, bigger group. It was a clean mathematical relationship. Then he did the obvious thing. He put humans on the graph. Given the size of the human neocortex, the equation spat out a number. The natural size of a human social group came out to roughly 150. That could have been just a neat calculation. But then Dunbar went looking to see if 150 actually showed up in the real world. It was everywhere. Neolithic farming villages from thousands of years ago clustered around 150 people. The Hutterites, a communal religious group, deliberately split their communities in two whenever they grow past 150, because beyond that, they say, you can't keep everyone accountable through personal relationships alone. A basic professional army unit, the company, has hovered around 150 men from the Roman legions to modern militaries. Even some companies like Gore-Tex famously cap office size around 150 to keep things running on personal trust instead of bureaucracy. Different centuries, different cultures, no contact with each other, and they all landed on the same ceiling. When groups pushed past 150, they either split apart or had to bring in strict rules and hierarchy to hold together, because the informal glue of everyone knows everyone stopped working. But 150 isn't one flat circle. It's layered like an onion, and this is where it gets personal. At the very center, you have about 5 people. Your closest inner circle, the ones you turn to in a crisis. Around that, roughly 15. The people whose death would genuinely devastate you. Then about 50 good friends, the people you'd invite to a big party. Then the full 150. Everyone you have a real relationship with, where you know their name, their story, and how they fit into your life. And each layer costs something. The inner circles demand the most time and emotional energy, which is exactly why they're the smallest. As you move outward, each ring holds more people, but each relationship gets thinner. The layers are basically a map of where your limited attention actually goes. Beyond 150, there are bigger rings, around 500 and 1,500, but those aren't relationships anymore. Those are faces you recognize, people you know of. Which brings us to the obvious question. It's the 21st century. We have phones. We have social media. Can't we just upgrade past this? Dunbar's answer is no. And it's the most interesting part. When you have 1,000 friends on Facebook or 10,000 followers, you haven't expanded your 150. You've just filled up those outer rings, the 500 and the 1,500, the recognize but don't really know layer. The inner circles don't stretch. The technology gives you the feeling of a huge social world, while the actual machinery underneath, the part of your brain that tracks who's who and how they relate to everyone else, is still capped at the same number your ancestors had. You can broadcast to thousands. You still can't truly know more than about 150. And here's the reframe that stays with you. We tend to feel guilty about this. We collect contacts, we feel like we're failing to keep up with everyone, like we should be able to maintain it all. But Dunbar's number isn't a personal flaw. It's the fixed capacity of being human. Every time someone new becomes genuinely important to you, someone else quietly drifts out to a wider ring. You don't choose it. It just happens. The old college friend you haven't called. The person who used to be in your 15 and slid to your 50. Your inner world has a fixed number of seats, and life is constantly, silently rearranging who sits in them. So the real question was never how many people you can know. It's who you're spending your 150 on. Because whether you're paying attention or not, you've already chosen. And there are only so many seats.